Safety Net Studio presents.
Okay, you've seen that one before? You don't know what I'm talking about?
100%. My aunt has one in her house.
Okay, so that is taken from the Shroud of Turin, which is rumored to be the cloth that was put over Jesus Christ when he was laid to rest after he was crucified. Okay?
So the picture is to mimic that.
No, it's a photo was taken of the cloth, and then that's the photo negative of the photo they took.
But they didn't have cameras back then. Hi.
Good morning, my love.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2026. It's hard to believe that 25 years ago was 2001.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
When you put that in there, was that a quarter of a decade? Quarter of a century?
That's right.
A quarter of a century ago. Bum, bum, bum. I love telling people I was born in the 1900s now. It's my favorite line. How old are you? I was born in the 1900s. What do you know? Horse and buggy, things were black and white. I just feel like, lean in, baby. If you're hitting your 40s, lean in.
25 years since I graduated college.
Woo!
Wow, that hurt. That tasted like vinegar coming out of my mouth.
This morning, I went to the gym, and after our brutal leg workout, we did an hour of posing with Mary. And so the whole group was there. So there's a whole bunch of us that are from the gym that are competing. And we were in our heels, listening to some music, and God bless the women that are there and all the people that are there, like, you guys need better music. So they're putting on great music for us. And we're posing and we're holding poses and all of our feet are killing. And I'm thinking, yeah, like 1998 to 2001, I'd be hitting the club in heels like that, dancing all night, just all night long, to that song. But, I was going hard, never thinking once about my feet. And here I am holding a pose for 20 seconds. And I'm just like, it's unbelievable. I hope the muscle memory kicks in, because I said to them, I wonder, do they give points for being the funniest on stage? Because I could go for that. Like, I could go for a little shimmy, shimmy, shake and be like, listen, you're disqualified, but we had a good time watching you.
You know how much I like to draw parallels. I'm assuming that because it's still under the realm of modeling to a certain extent, it would be like a hockey player saying, oh yeah, I could play field hockey. Oh yeah, I could play roller hockey. Oh yeah, I could play ball hockey. All these different forms of the same sport, but you get into it and you kind of go, oh, it's different.
It's different. There's a tone to it, of course. Stature, tall. I've walked a runway before. Modeling, holding poses. Like there's muscle memory there for me, like a hockey player would be, but it's different movements. It actually reminds me, there was this photographer I worked with in Australia who was so tough to work with. He would have you, like, because I as a model, you pose, okay? You're taking this, and I would be like, So you move with the clicks, the camera, you shoot, point, shoot. That's not his style. And he was the only photographer I ever worked with, but I swear he was training me for this moment. He would get you in a position, whatever it was, okay? And then he'd fix the light. Hold, and you would hold. And hold. I can remember one time being in the most awkward position. He's like, no, it looks natural. But of course, in modeling, if it looks natural, it is not natural. And I swear he was training me for this moment.
It kind of reminds me of Christopher Nolan, who has the movie The Odyssey coming out this summer with an all-star cast, Tom Holland, Matt Damon, the list goes on and on and on. Hearing actors talk about him and his directorial style, they said he's very demanding, but he wouldn't put you in a situation that he couldn't do himself, or that he wouldn't do himself. Like that. For instance, there was one where he had, I think it was Cillian Murphy, out at the end of a submarine or something out in the water, and it was cold. And so Christopher Nolan went out there for about half an hour first and said, okay, you can do this. And so I can imagine again, drawing parallels, being a little bit different, somebody who's standing behind a camera, who's just a photographer looking for that art, and you are nothing more than his pile of clay, in comparison to somebody here now during a fitness competition that's like, I've been there, I've done it.
Yeah. Well, our Opposing Coast Mary literally did it this year. And she is phenomenal, and she's one of the reasons why I'm on this path. So the fact that she's doing it there, she's been on the stage. She knows what it takes. So yeah, 100%.
It's something that, again, drawing more parallels, it's something that I wish that we would have been quicker on the uptake when it came to relating to our parents, because it's something you don't realize about parenting until you're actually in that situation.
Yeah, you want to go back to your parents and be like, sorry about that. You
I have a few times.
1993, you remember that time? Your parents just like, oh, I've been waiting for this.
Well, it's kind of like Marty McFly in Back to the Future, where he's about to walk out of the gymnasium from the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, and he goes, oh, by the way, if you guys have kids and one of those kids sets fire to the carpet by accident, go easy on them.
Yes. Yeah, you just 100% when you were.
And I think that's one of the things that I'll give you a perfect example of something that happened recently in our household, where something that has been requested of our children on numerous occasions just doesn't seem to be sitting in their memory or their psyche or whatever it may be in their habits, and it falls back on us. Obviously, we're not explaining it properly. And so I did something that I thought was better than what my parents would have done, but I don't think is the perfect thing to do. I don't know what the perfect thing to do is, but it's better than what my parents did, and I had that in mind when I did it. And I'll give you the example. Something was left in a spot where it shouldn't have been left. My father would have moved it to the garbage.
100% would have moved it to the garbage, eh? That's what you say.
After numerous warnings, it would have been like, all right, obviously doesn't get it. This goes in the garbage, and then would have had to deal with those consequences of not having that thing anymore.
This is why not having a father really worked out for me. It was just like, just leave your shit anywhere. Nobody gives a crap.
And in this situation, I thought, well, I'm not going to throw it in the garbage, but I'm going to remove it, and it will be held hostage until that lesson is learned. Now, when that lesson is learned, I don't know. And again, it's a consequence that I feel is just. I'm sure they don't feel it's just. They feel it's probably unfair. And again, is there probably a better way to do it? Probably. I haven't gotten there yet, but it's better. I feel it's better than what would have been done to me. And in some way, I find solace in that, but I'm sure they don't.
Right. But isn't that the point of being, when you're a parent, you're like, okay, I want to do better than my parents. My parents treated me like this, and these are things I really enjoyed. It's not like it was all bad, but I want to do better in this situation here, right? And then they're going to go ahead, and in their lives, they're going to go, yeah, I would have done this, right? So I think that's the evolution of being a parent. You're like, okay, I didn't like that, and that's one thing you have to keep in mind. I always think before you make especially when they're little, and they're running around and they're just touching everything. Like, it's so easy to quickly fly off the handle. Like, stop it! I said no, but it's like, take a deep breath first, like breathe, then react, because you may regret your way of reacting, and you can't take back, as a parent, you can't take back the way that you react. They will remember. People are like, oh, kids don't remember. No. Kids remember. Like, I remember the pajama incident, Mom.
Well, you're right. And a lot of those things get imprinted on our psyche for sure.
Right.
And going to the first law of thermodynamics, that energy cannot be created or destroyed, simply transferred from one medium to another. A lot of times when we say, stop that, instead of saying, stop that energy needs to be moved into a different facet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So instead of just stop what you're doing, it's like, let's try and do something else.
Yeah.
And that's where it takes.
You don't want to stop the conversation. You want to change the direction of it.
Right.
And as the parent, you need to learn to do that quickly. You have to manage. I think no one tells you this when you're a parent. When you become a parent, you have to manage your own emotions, your own childhood, while also managing theirs. And you're trying to figure out. And if maybe you're having a great day, but maybe you're not having a great day. Maybe you're having a shit day. Somebody's cut you off in traffic. You're late on something. You missed this. And then they test you. That's the moment. Right? And you're just like...
Well, it really is like living in a quantum state, because like you just said, you're trying to do something and from the past, and knowing that it's going to affect the future at the exact same time in the present. Like, it's a very multi-layered kind of thought.
This gives me an idea. You know how the government likes to give like random checks out for random things? What about a parent check for you're doing a great job? I still think that when you have a baby, that the battery company should get involved or something like that, and they should just like send you AAAs, AAs, Ds, all the things, because when you become a parent, there are so many batteries that you have to buy for your kids. I'm going to a baby shower this coming Sunday. You know what they're getting? Batteries. She's like, oh, we're registered. All these fans. No. You need batteries. And you're going to be appreciated. I went to Costco and bought you $100 worth of batteries.
And that, honestly, and that's another one of those things that at the time it'll be, thanks.
Yeah.
And it won't be until months later.
Yeah,
after
until
they have
they're
the
like
baby,
1 or 2.
They might not even call you, but they'll go, Candace got me those.
Yeah.
And those saved my life today.
Yes. Like your kids will need batteries. It's just those are the things where I wish when you're a new parent, the government almost sent you, I say the government because they love to hand out shit, but they hand out something with like a gift basket of all the things I'm actually going to need, that's my thought.
I feel like this is like a time travel episode.
That's what's happening with your hair.
Yeah. Hey, new year, new me.
Flip it, babe.
New year, new me. This was not a snap decision. This was not an impulsive decision. The reason why I was growing out my hair was for one reason only, and that was to grow it long enough that it could be donated to kids who are going through leukemia and need wigs. And this is the third time that I've done this. Second time in a row that I've done it. And I went to Harry Carey's on Henderson Highway, and Carrie was the one that took care of me, and she was great, and had to fill out a little form, and they help with the cost of shipping because it gets shipped off in order to make those wigs. And I asked her while I was doing it, I was like, so I noticed I'm starting to go gray a little bit. I said, are there parameters about, how? She's like, if you go too gray, you can't donate. She goes, right now you're good.
Oh. And
I said, so should I try it again? She goes, grow it out again. And she goes, as long as it kind of stays where it is. She goes, any more gray than it is now, and probably not. So it's fuzzy, right?
I just love the way it feels. Whoop.
It's like a giant Q-tip.
Whoop.
And God bless our boys who said, all right, well, I mean, their hair wasn't long enough to donate, but they decided to start off the new year with a new haircut as well. So we all have matching haircuts, which I think is,
I like
whatever.
it. Yeah, I think it's great.
I took down the beard as well.
Yep. And the mustache that you had for our New Year's Eve party. You had a great duster for the party.
Big Western duster.
We went over to Falcon Lake for their murder mystery party. We had to dress up as cowboys or cowgirls or somebody who can solve a murder, and we solved it.
We sure did.
We solved the murder. It was really, really fun. If they do that again next year, all in. Mm-hmm. Like all cash and chips in, go. It's so much fun. Lots of kids around. So it wasn't just for adults. I actually thought it was a little bit more adult, but it was catered to everybody. There was food going around. There was live music happening. It was awesome. It was a really, really good event. I had asked Mike and Sandra if they were going to be doing it again next year. Well, excuse me, if they had done it before, and they said no, but they would think they're going to do it next year, and I hope they do, and I hope like it's the theme of mermaids or something.
Outside of the hay bales that were all over the floor, outside of all the people in costume, and it really felt like the Western and
the food. The food was matched the Western theme, which I was surprised by.
Sure did. Yeah, the cornbread and the brisket.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and I love
chili,
brisket.
Western chili, and the performer that was up there. Like everything was spot on. But my favorite part about the whole thing, outside of chasing the kids around and following them sometimes.
Oh, you were so funny. You were like the best investigator. You were like leaning out because you could talk to the staff and you got to ask questions. We were just actually mingling, talking about life. And Dave like leans in and he's like, "Where were you at 8 p.m. yesterday or whatever?" You were just grill them, and you're like, "And who were you with? Did you buy the drink?" And you're just you really played the part.
Well, and one thing that I've learned a lot from watching enough drama crime shows over the years is you don't have to ask the question once. Ask it numerous times to see if the answer changes.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's one gumshoeing thing I learned. But my favorite thing out of all of it, and by the way, following the kids around sometimes, I've learned from doing escape rooms with our kids that they see things a little bit differently than we do. So sometimes I would just follow like other kids around. I know that sounds weird, but I'd follow them around when I knew they were going to ask a question of somebody and just kind of say, what questions are they asking?
Yeah.
What answers did they get?
Because they see it totally different.
Totally, yeah. But my favorite part, and this is a total man win, For all of those Instagram pages that, man club and man win and guys throwing big rocks off of mountains, this is a man win on this one, okay? So Mike and Sandra, who own Falcon Lake, they have a handful of businesses that they own. And years ago, if anyone remembers Bonanza, the buffet, the big buffet.
Love Bonanza.
Bonanza had the best deep fried shrimp in the world. It was the buffet of buffets, and it was a chain across North America, I think. When it went belly up, there was a big auction, and a lot of those trays, I remember you before you hit the buffet table, you get like a tray, and it was like a
wood
tray.
Yeah, it was wood on the round.
And it said Bonanza down the side, then it was metal in the middle, and that was your feeding dish. And it ended up at a warehouse, and Mike found these once upon a time and said, I'm buying those. And they've sat in his shed or warehouse or whatever it is for years upon years upon years upon years, thinking it was one of the, why are you buying those? We're never going to need those. This is dumb. We're going to need them one day, right? It's one of those old classic situations of being a dad going, I'm going to need that screw. Save that. Put it in a jar somewhere. These things worked out perfectly. They fit the genre perfectly.
I think she had said that they were planning it. She even said, she's like, hey, do you still have those Bonanza? And they were perfect.
Yeah.
They were
dusted them off.
Yeah, and that's the man win. He was probably like,
yeah.
Oh, here it is. This is the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was such a good time, and they're great people, and the people that were all there were fantastic. And if they do it next year, seriously, go. It was such a good time and family friendly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I won't lie. I used my AI a little bit for.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Why not? Was there a rule against not using AI to help solve the crime? I don't think there was, especially since I found out that AI helped create the scenario.
Okay, well, you and your AI can go and be a banana together.
I'm a banana. By the way, can I tell you a couple of really cool things that I came across that AI, one of those, and I know you roll your eyes a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there that roll their eyes when it comes to AI, and I saw Bernie Sanders recently talking about, who is this AI? There's not going to be any more jobs for anybody. I get it. There's a lot of pushback against it, but there's two instances that I came across this past week that I wanted to share with you that I find are incredible, like absolutely incredible, and could not have been figured out without AI because we just don't have the capacity for it.
I'm listening.
As human being. Do you want to start with the one that pertains more to you or the one that's really going to blow your noodle?
Start with me and then blow my noodle.
Okay. So I know how much you love animals. I know how much you love birds specifically.
I want to train. My goal this year is to train the crows in our area to come and just, I don't know. I don't know what I want to train them to do. I just want to feed them and, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can thank Jane Goodall for bringing into the modern era the idea of sign language with gorillas and whatnot, right? Like understanding that there is a language to be shared between human and animal. And I mean, Dr. Dolittle, obviously, great movie. If we could talk to animals, the things that we would learn, right? But we've learned that, dolphins and chimpanzees, and there's a lot of them that have very specific ways of communications. We've learned that cats have quite a extensive vocabulary in comparison to dogs. Scientists decided to start miking up crows, specifically crows.
Put them on their lapels, like little lapel ones?
Yes. Okay, sit still. Gonna put this up through your feathers, and this is gonna sit right there. In the wild, in trees, on telephone poles, everywhere, and in captivity as well, to see if they could figure out if there was a language being spoken. And there is quite a very diverse language that crows have. Mind-blowing. And there's a few, and I implore you to go do a quick little Google search. AI deciphers crow squawks or language, whatever you want, whatever you can do to find this. But there's a few points that really stuck out to me. Number one, I think we kind of knew this already. Crows hold grudges. Not only personal grudges, but generational grudges. They did an experiment where a guy, he didn't want to have them against him the whole time, so he put on a caveman mask. And he would walk through campus, and that's what he would wear when he would collect the specimens that he needed for their lab. Word got around that that caveman looking dude is going to take you. And that word got spread around. And even 5 years after the experiment was ran, he put the caveman mask back on to see if they remembered him. And that generation of birds was already dead, but the new generation were told about this caveman looking dude, and they would dive bomb him. They would dive bomb him knowing like that guy is going to take you. So they were able to share that information generationally.
Wow.
And throughout the network.
Yeah.
Now the network is a big thing because the crows, obviously they travel, they fly, but when they communicate with each other, they have accents, which is really weird. Wow. So like a dialect of a crow in New York is going to be different than the dialect of a crow in Los Angeles. But there are certain words that they will understand. But the way they say it, no different than, in Boston, you put your khakis in your khakis in comparison to an accent that you would find down in Oklahoma or whatever. Like they have like different dialects, not necessarily accents, maybe dialects. In doing all of this, and we know how smart crows are when it comes to problem solving and figuring out how to get food and all that kind of stuff. In all of this deciphering with AI and whatnot, figuring out that they have a judicial system, they have funerals, like they
really,
yes, like if a crow dies, they will all gather around. They don't peck at it, they don't eat it, they don't do anything. If anything, they kind of deciphered it as they're investigating a crime scene, trying to figure out, was this another animal? Was this a human?
Wow.
Whatever it was, they can figure out from your body language if you're walking out of your garage and you have a broom in your hand. They can figure out if you're just going out to sweep or if you're going out to shoo them away. They know the difference. And they share this information. They know the difference between you, if you're going to be feeding them on your front lawn, compared to your neighbors who shoos them away. So they'll come eat from you, bring you treats, and then go poop on your neighbor's car.
This is my goal. Bring me treats.
They are very...
I will give you treats.
So they have been able to figure out that the humans are trying to figure out their language, and they changed their language.
Well, during this experiment.
They started, the birds, from what the scientists can gather, have seen that the birds have started noticing the microphones. They started noticing the cameras. They started noticing these things. And while the AI was working on all this data, all of a sudden the AI said the model has changed. The model in these birds have changed. They have changed their code because they seem to be onto us. So it's almost as if
Sly.
So it's almost as if they're
like the detectives of the sky.
They kind of feel, well, I mean, Edgar Allan Poe talked about that how many years ago, right? And I just found that fascinating.
It is fascinating.
That the second we try to figure out the animal kingdom goes, no, you're not ready for that.
Oh, that's fascinating. It just makes me want to train them even more. Yeah. I know that people will train them and they'll bring them shiny things, or you can, they know how to, like, if you have a trap set up for food, they'll be able to solve it and they'll even work together. Like, I've seen that, but I had no idea the complexity of it.
Yeah, really fascinating.
Very cool.
Okay, the second one. You ready for this one?
Mind blowing.
This one, yeah, get ready for this one. So the Shroud of Turin. I'm sure you've walked through somebody's house before, maybe an aunt or an uncle or a family member or a friend of a family member, whatever, who are either Catholic or Christian or some iteration of those. And they have a picture of Jesus Christ on the wall. And that's that one that looks like the photo negative. Mm-hmm. Okay? You've seen that one before? You don't know what I'm talking about?
100%. My aunt has one in her house.
Okay. So that is taken from the Shroud of Turin, which is rumored to be the cloth that was put over Jesus Christ when he was laid to rest after he was crucified. Okay?
So the picture is to mimic that?
No, it's a photo was taken of the cloth, and then that's the photo negative of the photo they took.
But they didn't have cameras back then?
No. So they found the shroud.
Oh,
they took a picture of it, and the picture that you're seeing up on the wall is the photo negative of the picture of the shroud.
Got it.
So when they were able to, once we did have the technology, we started taking pictures of it and analyzing it that way. So we've analyzed it through carbon dating. We've analyzed, and there's been a lot of different scientists who have said, it's 2,000 years old. Others that have said, no, it's more medieval. And there's a lot of talk about how it survived a fire in the 1500s and it had to kind of be refurbished a little bit. And that was the section that they cut. There's been a lot of controversy around it. A lot. They finally decided to plug it into AI.
Oh.
Okay. All this data.
What do you mean by plug it in? Like they took a whole bunch of pictures?
Right. So all this data that they have, ran the scan through it, the most highly advanced technical stuff that we had. And keep in mind, they've been running tests on this for a long time, including as early as the 1970s that they started plugging it into computers that NASA was using, which we have more technology in our smart rings now than we did back then. But so they decided to plug this into AI. And that photo negative that we see hanging on people's walls is accurate. But what they've learned is that that's because a lot of times people are saying like, well, that was just a painting. Somebody painted that over. Like they found like some of the scars and whatnot kind of painted around it. It's not. They said what made that mark on that shroud was a energy surge that is consistent with something nuclear. So it's almost as if in a direct line, not spread out, because if a blast, like a nuclear blast was spread out, it would have blown everything up, right? It would have left marks everywhere, all over that shroud. But the fact that it was in a perfect line to create those individual little spots straight through that shroud, a nuclear blast that left that scarring
like
on that
energetically
shroud.
Came from what was underneath
from
it.
underneath and through it.
This is what AI is saying.
This is what AI is saying. It's going back to quantum physics. If a 3D object passes through a two-dimensional object, it leaves a mark. So
okay, hold on. If a 3D object passes through a two-dimensional, it'll leave a line.
It leaves a mark of some kind.
Yeah, okay.
So this is more of a fourth dimensional object passing through a three-dimensional object, and that's what left this right.
So what they saying that there was this nuclear style energy that lifted up and through.
Right.
That's where it all stopped, or is there more?
That's where. As far as like think of that photo negative again, the way we got that is that there was a mark that was left through that on that shroud that has been theorized to be paint, or it was pictures of blood. It was all these different things. They said, oh, it was just, the body started decomposing and whatnot, and it's not. It shows no sign of that. What it shows is a massive, massive energy surge that they're not describing as the body passing through it, but as if the body...
Spirit. Maybe
right.
The spirit, the
Something.
soul came up and through it.
They actually...
Ooh, I have shivers.
It's incredible.
Wow.
It's absolutely incredible because, as you know, Christianity has been trying to prove everything that's in the Bible and prove all of these claims that have been around for thousands and thousands of years, 2,000 years and beyond. And this is a big, big, big piece of evidence. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are going to tear it apart. Oh, it's AI, it's computer, but it's fascinating. As somebody who's a true blue conspiracy theorist all the way through this little body, I love hearing a different side of this. Yeah. Right. Like you said, I've heard the blood, I've heard this, but never even like if the thought of, because your soul, you said it very early on about the energy. Where does the energy go? Right. There's the thermodynamics that you said. Yeah. First of all, thermodynamics.
So your energy, where does your energy go once you've passed? Mm-hmm. It's fascinating to think.
Well, and in the cloth,
where was the cloth found?
In Nazareth.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Okay.
So it left the code that it left.
Code?
The code, and that's what they're calling it. They're calling it code.
Okay.
Is because we have that photo negative. It actually, the AI was able to take it and realize that it's more of a 3D image, which almost as if like it came up. Right, like so instead of it just being flat, they actually have like 3D images of what that face looked like.
Fascinating. Does it look like what we've thought for years?
Plus, it also has. I know this is going really deep into the.
Dig it, baby.
But where the blood is consistent with
the crown of thorns.
The crown of thorns that Jesus wore. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like just fascinating. And again,
that's pretty cool.
And again, that's a big win for AI.
That's pretty cool.
That's a big win.
Is it a win, or, I mean, of course, I guess you'd have a lot of people saying, yeah, or it's just saying that.
Look, AI is able to do calculations that we could only dream of back in the day. Now it's able to do them. can anyone really qualify it as far as, whenever somebody prints something in these colleges of higher knowledge and whatnot, they always have to be read by other scientists to confirm or deny and poke holes in and whatnot.
I'll poke holes all day.
There's really no one smart enough to be able to poke holes in the AI right now when it does these math calculations. We just kind of go, okay, well,
it's fascinating. It adds another, and it adds maybe a layer that no one's looked at.
Right.
I think that's fascinating. My mind is, in fact, blown. Yeah. Now I'm curious if I were to scan that AI, if it would help me keep this plant alive.
Speaking of moving on to the fourth dimension.
For anybody.
So funny. This is so funny.
So this plant here is an orchid. You can see it's in a Champs right here, a Champs ice cream.
No, it's a Chapman's.
A Chapman's ice cream. This is my uncle's prized orchid that he's had for over 10 years. And he's on a trip for a few months and he's asked me to take care of it. Now, here's the thing. I have a great green thumb. 99.9% of plants, we love each other. You can thrive all day long. Something about the orchid I've struggled with since we've known each other. I've never been able to get them to propagate. So when he dropped this off, I honestly felt like he left me a child. Like, oh my gosh. And what's interesting about this plant specifically is when I posted up, hey, my uncle left me this plant, everyone's like, put ice cubes on it, put ice cubes on it, put ice cubes on it, put 3 or 4, and just once a week and just leave it. Make sure it's in a nice area. When I asked him later that day, I got on a call and I was, thank you so much for entrusting me. You've had it for 10 years. Yeah, it's about to bloom. It's going to be beautiful, Candace. There's 2 plants in here, so it's going to bloom twice. He said the complete opposite. He actually gives it a warm bath once a week. And not just like everyone does like a quarter of they'll say just a few ice cubes or just a little quarter of a cup. No, he uses 2, oh boy, I got to check my notes, 2 or 3 cups of warm water and soaks it in. And look what it's in. It's in an ice cream pail. And this man has the most beautiful plants. Him and his wife have done a great job with their plants. And I feel so honored to have this plant in my, oh boy, that's not a good sign. I feel so honored. But when we went to Falcon Lake, we came back and for whatever reason, the heat in our house turned off. And when we walked in, it was 8 degrees in our house. And one of the big things he said to me is make sure it stays in a warm, bright area. And when I got back and we walked in the house, I'm like, why is it so cold? And we figured it out. I ran to the plant and it was so cold.
2 days. 2 days.
I had it 2 days.
2
now,
days. 2 days. Don't worry, Uncle. I've never been able to keep an orchid alive in my life, but don't you worry. I got this.
And for him to trust me I feel so blessed.
That's like throwing your keys to somebody who had their license suspended 10 times in a row.
Well, he says, you're so good with plants. It's time. It's time to go to the big challenge. And I thought, and so I even asked him, I said, Uncle,
this is a test. If you
happens,
fail, you're out of the will.
Yeah, what happens if this doesn't survive?
You're out of the will.
And his response, well, not with that attitude. And I thought, oh my gosh. And what I found interesting, he tells me he uses coffee grinds. I know he had this whole system, and so when he gets to where he's going, we're going to get on a call again. It has to be watered today. And I'm like, I pray that AI, you can talk about AI doing all these fancy things. I just needed to keep it alive. It has all these shoots. So send me your prayers. Plant people, send me your prayers. I have it for 3 months.
I am cheering for you. I really, really am. I am cautiously optimistic because it's been a running joke in our relationship over the past going on 17 years that you have a great green thumb. You really do. You have lots of plants. You have a great green thumb, but for whatever reason,
the
orchids are your mortal enemy. It's true. They seem to hate you, or you hate them, or they're scared of you, or they're suicidal when they get around you. There's a joke when they're in season.
They're like the crows. The orchids are like, oh, it's her. Did you hear? It's her.
When we go through grocery stores, and then they're in season, and they're out, and you always oh, look at the pretty orchids. I'm like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It'll die. It'll die. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I am cheering for you. I pray that you're able to get this thing to bloom and keep it alive, because that's the biggest orchid I've ever seen.
And wait till it blooms.
The root system.
And it is about to bloom. And that's one of the reasons he's like, it's going to be so beautiful. And it's 2 different colors in there. And the fact that he's had it for 10 years is unbelievable.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's like I said. And
that's a lot of pressure.
So, dear AI, this is what I really need the help with.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh boy. If I was lost in a grocery store, where would you look for me, by the way? By the orchids?
If you were lost in a grocery
Yeah, if
store?
all of a sudden you couldn't find me, where do you think I'd be? You're like, oh, she's gone. Where is she?
In the natural food section?
Yeah, probably.
In this day and age?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It all depends what, again, what time period, what era of Candace Ray are we in?
This one now, yeah, you're right. I'd be standing in front of the protein. Like, do you think I need this?
Where would I be?
You'd be in front of the meat or the ramen.
Probably the pharmacy looking for Zins. By the way, one last note here. Again, hopefully AI. You're asking for some help through AI. I'm asking for some help through AI. I have gotten far enough out of having cigarettes in my life now that I am on these Zonics, these nicotine pouches, and I want to start weaning. I don't want to do cold turkey anymore. I'm too old for that shit. It makes me miserable. I don't like it. So I'm getting AI to help me come up with a schedule where I can start weaning myself off. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to start taking data over the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to jot down every time I have one, and then I'm going to plug it into my AI, and I'm going to say, wean me off these nicotine patches, and hopefully in the next 2 months, I can be completely nicotine-free.
So you want me 100%. Good for you.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
And hopefully AI
that
can help me
adds to
get
the
there.
pile when we had talked about a few shows ago about going sober for the 6 months of trying to stack money over to one. Well, we wanted to stack it. We realized we're just spending it on my protein and creatine.
No.
You know, this is definitely a way to help that, but also your own health. Like,
Well-
I'm so happy because I say this to you all the time. Your superpower is your voice. And because you smoke and you've chewed, when I first met you, I used to always have your this. And I thought, oh gosh, if you ever got cancer, you know, I mean, obviously that's terrible, but anything to do with your mouth or your throat, I mean, there goes your career.
Yeah, that's the thing
And
about-
you've already switched careers once in your life. Your eye.
When it
In case
comes,
you couldn't remember
but
what's happening.
no. When it comes to, but the nicotine, it's not cancer causing. Like the tobacco was, and I'm off the tobacco. It's just the nicotine. That's the addictive part.
Well, there's a lot
and-
of studies out there about nicotine now and how it's actually. I probably shouldn't say this to you, but
No,
I've been seeing a lot of.
I know.
A lot of it saying how some nicotine is a little bit of nicotine a day is actually good for you, and it
I
can
know.
prevent A, B, and C, which I don't know what those are at the top of my head.
I know.
So there's a lot of people who are doing a lot of research and saying actually if you have a little bit of nicotine, it can actually be quite. But then it's the addictive side of it.
It's the addictive side, and it's, to my math, just shy of $200 a month to support this habit. And that's finding.
You've been fluffing those numbers ever since. I didn't know that.
No, it's about that. I've found the cheapest place to get them is at Costco.
Costco. But it's
for-
just too
for
bad they
$1.
don't have the flavors and stuff for you.
Whatever.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a
Do you
vehicle.
just tuck it under your tongue or in your
Same spot I used to keep my Copenhagen.
over the top
Up on
lip?
the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Got a nice little pocket worked in there after all the years.
Is there really?
Oh, absolutely.
Weird.
Yeah.
No, I'm so glad I never was a tobacco lady.
No, you're more addicted to killing orchids instead. Yeah, that's your addiction.
I have a question if you want to go a little deeper, but we can wait till next week.
No, what do you got?
There's a lot happening in the world right now.
Okay.
Okay. And there's
There's always stuff going on in the world right
and
now.
there's a lot happening between America, which there's always something about America, and Venezuela. Okay. I want to
Yeah,
have
that
I want
whole
to
thing.
have a little chat about this. So this, from my understanding, the states have gone in and removed the president
Maduro,
of
Venezuela.
and his wife, and they've bombed as well some places, and removed him because they didn't think that. I'm just saying didn't think he was doing a good job. Wasn't playing by the books. Conspiracy theorist over here. I'm putting the hat on. Hold on. It's a tinfoil hat, right? So they've removed him out of there, and they've appointed.
Listen, put a tinfoil hat on all you want. We're talking into microphones.
They've now appointed somebody from their own staff, essentially, or somebody entrusted to them to run this place. And I want to understand, because from my understanding, they have natural resources that maybe America wants, and so they're removing this gentleman out. Like, can you explain it to me? You read news more than I do. I just read conspiracy blogs.
Okay. I'm going to give you a unbiased, nonpartisan explanation of what I understand is going on right now.
Please.
And this goes on over a bit of course of time. You got to keep in mind that Venezuela, you're right, it is very rich in natural resources, not only oil, but in gold and a lot of natural resources.
Yeah.
Not too dissimilar from here in Canada, where we have a lot of natural resources, and energy is a big one. And they have the largest oil deposit
Outside of Canada.
In South America. I think actually in all of North America, it's a different kind of oil. Like theirs is more of
crude
like
oil?
it's a crude oil,
Yeah.
but it's not, it doesn't come out in rock form like it does in Northern Canada. It comes out more like a tar.
'Kay.
Like it's a really thick tar and it's hard
So
to
they've
process.
got this resource.
Huge, massive resource.
Okay.
Massive resource. And they were actually able to tap into it about 20 years ago.
Yeah, because they were a profitable country.
They were doing great.
Free education. It was doing amazing, right?
It was great.
With the leader that was before Maduro.
So Venezuela decided to take all of this money they were making and fund a whole bunch of social programs and fund
Love that.
schools
Okay,
and do
yeah.
all these things, and everything was going great. And then the price of oil dropped and the bill came due. And they weren't able to prop up those bills anymore because the oil wasn't doing as well. And so
What do you mean by it just ran dry?
No. The oil was still there, but the price of oil dropped.
Okay.
Okay, because of global markets and
Okay,
whatnot, and people
okay.
buy from different areas and for a multitude of different reasons.
Okay.
So they didn't manage that properly, so their dollar became worthless, worthless.
Okay.
Like people were literally burning it to stay warm. There was, and now a few things can be true at the same time. Venezuela sells about 50% of its oil to the United States. So obviously the United
okay.
States, and then sell to other countries, but
Okay.
the United States has a big interest in Venezuela. Obviously, closest neighbor, don't have to travel as far to get it.
Okay.
A lot of things. Because of the financial situation that Venezuela was in, they had to start relying on a lot of other resources, including a lot of their drug trade. And their government had to start cutting deals with their cartels and handing out diplomatic paperwork, so they were able to skirt through and get their minerals, we'll call them, into the United States. So
Which the United States was happy to take.
No, like we're talking drugs.
Right, but okay, go on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there was that's when the corruption started creeping in. So
Okay.
so there's a lot of corruption. Like if you look at the list of some of the most corrupt countries in the world, Venezuela is high up there
In government.
in government.
Okay.
So very, very corrupt.
Okay.
Maduro's considered a dictator. Okay.
And he came in after this guy that was all about for the people.
Well, that guy was also riding high on the hog because he had the money to do it.
Okay.
And so now things are low, and you got someone who's going to try and bring it up again. So the United States, it's a combination of two things. Number one, were they bringing in drugs? Yep, they were. Is there also a lot of oil there? Yes, there is. So two big reasons to go in and remove a dictator and put in their people. Now, if you heard any of the conversation that happened through the U.S. White House, they have people in place. Like they have the vice president is now the president of that country, and they are working with the U.S. government, including Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio. And Donald Trump said, we are going to be running things for the foreseeable future until we feel that there's a good situation to hand off to.
Seems like an overreach.
This is a regime change. This is not the
Right.
first time the U.S. has
No,
done this.
I know that. I know they
they've-
love to go into other people's countries and
They've done it in
take
the U.S.
what they, yeah.
They've
yeah.
done it in the
I
U.S. a
know.
lot.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to Venezuelans, as you can imagine, it's very divisive. There are a lot of people who are saying, we were all poor, we were starving, we were dying. This had to happen because our government was so corrupt. There's a lot of other people who are saying, we don't want U.S. control. We do
Right.
not want to be invaded. So of course
That's
you're
the
going
part that bothers me the most, Dave, is that there are innocent people that are trying to live their lives there that are having to have bombs come off, in their country while big government officials are flexing and throwing their dicks around and being like, you can do this. But it's like there's actual people that are trying to live their lives and grow their. That's the part about all of this that bothers me.
Yes, and I get that. And as I said last week on the show when we were talking about the Arctic, the U.S. has done a really good job of making sure that they keep all wars off of their land. And this is the way they do it, by making sure they go into these other places and keep it there before it lands on their own turf. Now, I'm trying to remember. I learned this in school years ago, but
Over a decade ago,
I-
or a quarter century ago.
I want to say it was like the Monroe Accords or something to that effect. But basically, it said if there was any European collusion going on in any of the Latin Americas, then that would be considered an act of aggression against the U.S., and the U.S. could lawfully intervene. Now, with that big oil deposit, the U.S. isn't the only one that's interested in that big oil deposit, as you can imagine. Iran's very interested in it. China's very interested in it. Russia's very interested in it. And they've all been making plays down there for a number of years. Like, this isn't just overnight.
I knew that.
It's been a number of years that a lot of places from over on that side of the world have been dealing with Venezuelans, especially when they're down low, right? Like, when do you buy a stock? When it's really low. When do you don't go in when it's bang up here. You go in when it's low, and that's when a lot of these countries have all been kind of meddling. Like, the U.S. hasn't been the only ones that have been meddling down there. It's been a lot of other countries, and the U.S. are the ones that decided to go in, get rid of the dictator, and say, this is our neighbor. This directly affects us. So a lot of things can be true at the same time. I agree with you. It's unfortunate that, some
the civilians and people who are trying to just live their lives while these people are corrupt.
Right. And in the world stage, that is, I try to believe that they avoid collateral damage whenever possible, but I don't think that's always the case. Either way, I just hope that everyone is safe. And truthfully, I mean, I want everyone to do well. For the same way as I want Manitoba to start digging up our lithium and using our silica sands and doing all those things, I want Venezuela to be able to sell their oil. And I want all of them to be able to do well. I mean, a lot of those Latin American countries have been struggling for a long time with a lot of natural resources.
Right.
But it's a matter of making sure, like we were just watching The Mask of Zorro the other night, another great 90s movie that we've been showing our kids.
Oh, so good.
And in the situation
I
where...
haven't seen it in a while. You should really watch it. I hadn't watched it in a long time. That's a great movie.
Well, it's a really interesting, if we actually draw the parallel now. So the situation is that there is a governor who's coming in and into Santa Ana, and the people there don't know that
they have so many resources.
They have so much gold.
Yeah.
And so what they decided to do is extract the gold and buy Baja California with their own gold. And that's kind of what it seems like the U.S. wants to do right here. It's like, hey, we're going to make you guys rich with your own resources, but we're going to take the credit for it type thing. You know what I mean? So, it's an interesting parallel to draw. But Mask of Zorro, fantastic. And just really quickly, I love the fact, and Hollywood's been guilty of whitewashing for a very long time as far as putting people of different nationalities into different roles, which is fine in the grand scheme of things. You spend your money how you want to. But I just think it's hilarious how Anthony Hopkins, the amazing Anthony Hopkins,
the best,
who just turned 88, if I
actually
remember
just
correctly.
saw him on his social media. He said that he's been sober for 50 years.
Hello, Clarice. Here he is playing a Mexican Spaniard.
Yeah.
And everyone around him, everything is as Spanish and as Mexican as possible. And he's talking in an English accent, and no one gives a
because he's so good.
Nobody bats an eye.
Because it's Anthony Hopkins.
That he's talking in an English accent. Yes, hello, my dear. Hello, my glorious Elena. Whenever it's like, Señor Don Diego de la Vega, what are you doing here? Well, I'm just here for the weekend. Very good, señor. Like, no one gives a shit. And I was like, he's a Spaniard.
He's so great.
Because he's amazing.
And you're just willing to take him anyway. You're absolutely right. I forgot how great that movie is. Like, it's good, but then we're watching it with the kids, and they still 90s movie, and they've enjoyed everyone, but they kind of okay, and then they start watching like, wow, this is so good. But they love the fact that they were so much more simpler and a well-told story. Don't get me wrong, I love the Marvel universe and all those things, but they're so complex that to watch a movie, like Speed, when we watched over the holidays, it just takes place on a bus, and you know what I mean? Like, it keeps things. Well, I love that. I miss that.
I kind of said it to the kids last night, and I think the 90s really were an amazing time for movies. And I know I'm biased because it's our generation, but they were right on it was right before.
There's no AI.
It was right before The Matrix. It was literally right before The Matrix, and that's when everything changed. Everything changed as you were able to do these incredible things with the camera and give you an incredible visual experience. And now audiences expect that. If I'm going to be spending $20 to go sit in a seat, it better be 2 hours and it better blow my mind.
Yeah, not just this complex, beautiful, well-told story.
Like, there better be 3D fireworks in that mofo.
Yeah.
But the 90s, like right before that, we were so close to having all these special effects, but it still had to be an incredibly well told story. And that, I think, was, to me, the golden era of storytelling. It really reached its max. It really reached its pinnacle in the 90s. Don't get me wrong, there's been great stories that have been told. And there have been great stories that have been in conjunction with a lot of this great technology that we have, and a lot of the, like being able to see Interstellar. And
that's a great movie.
Like amazing storytelling. But now when you have an art house flick that's just a really well-told story with incredible actors, it's like, does it have explosions?
Yeah.
Is it going to space?
Yeah.
Does it have transmorph abilities to move and change? If it doesn't, then audiences
people aren't
usually
as
lost,
interested.
right?
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's definitely a good movie. If you have a 90s movie that you can recommend our family to watch, please put it on the list, because we really do want to start showing them. We have a family movie night. We play games. We do it once a week. And I want to start adding.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, we're pretty big movie family for sure. We love our movies. Movies and games.
There was one that I thought of the other day, and I went to you, we got to show them that movie, and then it completely lost. I can't remember what it was exactly.
That's called Getting Old, by the way.
We just showed them The Princess Bride.
I saw it for the first time, not just you.
Yeah, for the record, that I was scrolling.
I have never seen that before. I know you doubt my memory sometimes, but I never saw that before.
We were scrolling through that when you went. I stopped on it and went, classic. And you went, that doesn't seem like the type of movie I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I was I don't know why, I turned my nose right up on it.
Yeah, and I went,
but
we're watching this.
I also love the humor in it. I'm a big fan of Your Mother Smells Like a Hamster. Like who does those
Monty
movies?
Python.
So it had a little bit of that humor, and that I like. I think there should be more humor and joy.
I love that you spotted Robin Wright right away.
Oh yeah, young Robin Wright.
Right away.
That must have been a breakout role.
Debut role.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, I was shocked by it. I thought, oh my goodness, it was a great movie.
Princess. The only hang up the kids have with the movies in the 90s is like, it just ended.
Yeah.
Like it's just. Like, there's no resolution, like, at all.
My favorite
There's no bonus scene. They always scroll through to the end of the credits. Like, where's the bonus scene?
That's my favorite. Every time. And Dave and I just look over each other, and there's our oldest. He's just like, there's got to be some sort of extra thing.
Gotta be.
I was like, what wasn't a thing? Anyway, it was our first show of 2026.
Anyways, this show is wonderful for storytelling, and there's more often than not a bonus scene after the credits roll on this show. So there you go.
Is there?
Yeah, there's usually a little something after.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, this spoiler alert, this time it's a dead orchid.
It's not dead. Don't say that, but I have to water it. I'm so stressed. Okay, have a great start of your week.
Start of your month, start of your year.
You know what's exciting about February?
2026, here we are, bitch.
Walk in.
Can't wait for all the new Gen Alpha slang.
Lock in is mine all day long.
To put us even further behind the 8 ball. Good luck with your working out. You're doing great. Keep it up.
Here we go. Yeah, this week is we're going into last full real week of bulk, and then we start to kind of slow down before we hit the cut.
6 months.
Here we go. Yep.
Yeah, 6 months.
Not even.
Away we go.
6?
6 months. Yeah, June, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. 6 months.
Okay.
Bye.
That was almost Maynard James Keenan's Scream and The Grudge.
Oh, don't even. That's one of my hype songs for the gym.
The Grudge?
Oh,
That's
The Grudge and The Pot. I love The Pot.
The Pot?
The Pot. The song The Pot.
The Pot of the Orchid.
In an ice cream pail.